Welcome guys to another episode of Talking Points, and in this one I'll be talking about United's latest game where we played Chelsea at Old Trafford and it ended 0-0 yesterday. And yeah, obviously it was I think it was a okay performance and results wise as well. I think both teams wanted it to go in there at least to get out with a point. And because it's so early in the season, I don't think really everyone's up to speed and also full fitness as yet. So the match ended in a 0-0 score, and yeah, so overall I think it was a okay performance and results wise as well. So so let's go ahead and talk about some of the points I have about the game. So the first one is obviously the big statement from Wayne Rooney last night, where he gave it his all, played a whole match, 90 minutes, and looked at times really good. I mean, I don't think there was a question about his lack of commitment towards the club, because some of his kind of like attacking play and also some of his defensive display was also highlighted, especially when he tracked back Ramirez from the edge of the box, ending up at a left back position, tackling, getting the ball, and then played it up front to Van Persie. So that was a really good showing from Wayne Rooney, really highlighting, I think, his worth and his use to United. But also at the same time, he was getting cheered from the Chelsea fans, and it highlighted his perhaps importance to them as well if they were to get him. They play with a false number 9 system with Andre Schürrle up by himself, and then with Hazard, Oscar, and De Bruyne all behind him. So Mourinho, I think, having a bit of a statement to Abramovich, showing that he doesn't trust any of his current centre forwards, and Rooney displayed his abilities last night. So I don't think still I believe that Rooney won't be leaving United this summer, and according to Sky Sports this morning, Rooney will not hand in a transfer request. So I think that technically rules out any move to Chelsea unless they come in with a ridiculous offer, £100 million, etc. So that will be the extraordinary thing about it. And because there's only a week left of the transfer window, Chelsea will need an answer from Rooney soon. If not, then they will pursue other targets. And on last night's performance, I think United fan will be especially pleased that Rooney is not affected in the head at all by the transfer speculation, and that he is fully committed to the club. And the second talking point I want to talk about is to do with the defence. Last night, a lot of people been raising questions about the ability of Fernand and Vidic, about their lack of pace, etc. But I thought the whole defence played really well. Ferdinand Vidic looks solid, even though Chelsea deployed, the floating system with the three almost number 10s, and especially with the speed and pace of Schürrle as well. So that in effect really showed the world and the Premier League that Ferdinand and Vidic are still up to speed, even though they have lost pace because of the aging process. They still positionally look sound, and have to the scoreline as well. You have to concede that Chelsea's defence with Terry and Cahill in the central defence played really well, really to restrict any movement from Van Persie, Rooney and Welbeck. So in that regard, I think both defence played well, and thus why we ended up with a 0-0 scoreline. And again, from the performance last night, I think it really highlighted you can't beat real experience in the bigger games. Although this return to the boring 0-0 or 1-0 scorelines of previous about these sort of big games, I think experience and performance wise, I think it will do us good in the Champions League, knowing that we have Ferdinand and Vidic back to full fitness, and that they are still capable of performing in the biggest games. The third position, or the third talking point I want to talk about, is to do with our wing play. I think it's still a problem in some areas, because Valencia looked his old self yesterday in the defensively when he tracked back, beating Eden Hazard to couple balls. But going forward, he did look a bit docile and hesitant, reverting to his displays from last season, where again, like I said, he had one-on-one with Ashley Cole a couple times, but instead of going down the line, perhaps cutting the ball back, he reverted to just passing inside to Carrick or out wide to Jones. So in that regard, Valencia still looking to find his best form going forward, but I don't think there should be any question raised about his commitment going backwards, because he did a superb job on tracking Eden Hazard all game. So Valencia definitely earned some bonus points from that point of view. But again, his forward play is not to be getting inspired by, and he got replaced by Ashley Young, who wasn't much greater going forward, to be honest. Much of the same. His crossing was a bit better and more dangerous because it was flatter and more accurate. But again, I think if David Moyes really went and played a wild card or a joker, he might have picked Wilfred Zaha on a bench, which is why it's kind of concerning, I guess, to some United fans that David Moyes didn't even include Zaha in a matchday squad, instead picking Ashley Young, who just fresh back from injury. So in that regard, Zaha might feel a bit hard done by because of the pre-season form he showed with the Reds. But I think because it is so new to him, this environment, and obviously the atmosphere, Zaha might have been a bit daunted by the whole experience. But again, you don't know how he's going to react until you play him. So in that regard, I would have liked to see Zaha played last night because he would have been a lot more exciting than Young coming on. But I think David Moyes would have been happy with a draw had you given him that kind of option before the game as well. So it's still a problem, but for David Moyes to figure out, because Valencia, like I said, good defensively, but going forward he might opt to play either Zaha or Nani when he comes back, and also Shinji Kagawa on the left hand side, and I'll talk about Kagawa in a little bit in further. So the last point I want to talk about is to do with our midfield, where Michael Carrick and Tom Cleverley played last night, and I thought they were superb defensively, and the shape and organisation was really, really good. But again, it begs the question whether we really need a world-class, star in the central midfield who can pick out a pass, because yes, they played as a duo really, really well, communicated really well with each other, but at times on the ball I thought Carrick, yes, simple, nice, sometimes the slicing pass right through Chelsea's midfield, but Tom Cleverley, I think he tried to perform the kind of like eye of the needle stuff, but again it didn't really come off. And say if we had a player like Fabregas or Modric or even Thiago Alcantara in the central midfield last night, would you think we would have produced a better ball and a final product to perhaps Van Persie or Rooney? So that is still, I think, a question that beggars a lot of United fans to worry about and also think about as well. So there has been a lot of Twitter criticism from David Moyes and queries about perhaps why he didn't play Kagawa last night, because I thought Kagawa, like I said in a couple of videos ago, I would definitely have played him on the left hand side. I think Welbeck, yes, he has come into very good form, especially with the 2 goals against Swansea, but again he tracked back in that. But I think sometimes Welbeck, his movement are a bit too sharp, and he crowds out the box too much, and he doesn't have the imagination or creativity or the technique of Shinji Kagawa when you need to do a delicate little ball through to your strikers. So in that regard, I think it would have been better if we had introduced Kagawa perhaps instead of Ryan Giggs late on. But again, I'm not sure what David Moyes' thinking or plan is for Shinji Kagawa, but I think Kagawa has the ability to unlock a lot of defences that he's shown a couple of years ago against Bayern Munich, against a defence that was very good. So Kagawa, I hope David Moyes integrate him more into the United squad and also the starting 11, because a lot of fans on Twitter, even Borussia Dortmund fans, saying how much or how disappointed they are, and I am especially, of how Shinji Kagawa, or how little Shinji Kagawa has been used by United at this current moment in time. So I hope that improves, because Kagawa, I think, is a top player, and he could be our answer to a lot of this number 10 queries, because we can play say a 4-2-3-1 formation with Rooney and Kagawa up there, with Nani on the right or Zaha on the right, with Van Persie up top. So I think that is a really good combination that we David Moyes should explore in the future, and hopefully Kagawa will be included in those plans as well. I believe he could be the answer to our creative problems in the centre of the park. So there you guys have it for another videos of talking points, and in this video I covered Rooney's commitment, the defensive ability of Vidic and Ferdinand. The wing play is still, I think, a major problem going forward wise, and also the defensive or the attacking central midfielder role where Shinji Kagawa could potentially be operating in. So if you guys have any opinion on any of those topics, please comment below on them, and if so, please also rate this video, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel for more content. You can check me out on Twitter at ManUnitedDaily, or you can visit the website at ManUnitedDaily.com. You can write to the website as well at ManUnitedDaily@gmail.com. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.